Welcome to the shortwave radio channel, and this is the review of the C Crane CCSkywaveSSB portable receiver. So this was given to me by Kevin J. Napalo. Thank you very much. I've been using it for a few weeks, and I've been enjoying using it. Honestly, I've really been enjoying using the C Crane. And first, what does it come with? Well, you got the radio. You've got a little carrying pouch. It comes with a clip-on real antenna, and it comes with earbuds that are, I have to say, some of the best quality earbuds that I've used. I put them back in their bag, but this is the best quality earbuds, really branded C Crane on it, that I've used using a portable radio, and it's a must. They had to give this with it because of a couple of little flaws that I will talk about that you need to really have that to enjoy it to the max. So the C Crane is a medium wave, shortwave, FM, airband, and weather band receiver. It is general coverage, so it does cover all of the shortwave spectrum. And of course, it has single sideband. After 2 weeks of use, of course, I've got a very strong opinion on it now. And, I'm going to tell you what's good and bad. First of all, you've got this radio. It's quite small. And if you thought the XH Data D808 was small, this is even smaller. This puts it in the ultralight category, which is nice if you like to travel with your radios because it doesn't take a lot of space. And it actually is quite sensitive. Of course, on the front panel, you've got all the buttons for, of course, the different bands, the single sideband with a little red light here when you're in single sideband, upper, lower sideband separate. You have fine-tuning button here, so when you want to fine-tune in the sideband, you got a little fine-tuning going on here. Keypad entry, which is nice. You've got, of course, meter band selection. It adapts, so if you're on the upper sideband, lower sideband, or on single sideband, actually, what it does is it will go through the ham bands. So it actually has the amateur bands programmed in. If you use it in the AM mode, well, you will have the international broadcast band cycle through with the meter button, which is very nice. Of course, a lock button, a light button. I wish that it would stay on when you use it with batteries if you want, but it doesn't. But it does if it's plugged in, and the radio is very, very nice to use with that. Of course, you've got your memory system with page system, which is, cycling through the different memories, a frequency entry button, and of course, you've got the up-down button. You've got the tuning button here, tuning knob, and of course, a volume control on the right side. On the left side, USB for power and charging the batteries. You have the headphone jack, the top telescopic antenna, and pretty much a little stand in the back. It uses 2 AA batteries, which is standard and nice. And overall, it is a very nice little radio to use. Personally, what I would say is that the shortwave reception is great, and it's very sensitive. With the little included real antenna, you're gonna have fun, and if it's not too noisy in your environment, this radio receives very well on shortwave. It's okay on medium wave, but it would need a little boost. I have read somewhere that medium wave is less interesting because the ferrite inside it is small, but it catches the main station for me, like WCBS and stuff like that. FM reception is actually quite good. I get my standard beacon stations when I go on the FM band. So this is, of course, like 107.9, which is the place I go to. Listen, the NPR station, local NPR. And now the telescopic is not extended, but let's just extend it for now. It actually does receive well the FM band. It is a superb performer on the Airband. Actually, if you want a portable radio with Airband, it's actually superb in the Airband for a portable receiver. I actually have really enjoyed using it on the Airband listening to local airports. It actually is much more sensitive on the Airband than most portables that I've seen, actually. So that's something nice because, the other ones are okay, like the SH Data, Radiwell R108. They're not bad, but this one is more sensitive and by a pretty good margin too. So the scan speed also for the Airband is faster. So it's actually a nice, if you're looking for a portable shortwave radio that has Airband, this one is probably the best that I've seen with Airband on it. It also has the weather channels. So in North America, you'll listen to the NOAA weather channels in the US, or here Environment Canada in Canada. It actually is very good in performance because one of the things that I always check is channel 1, which is Burlington, Vermont weather. So it requires a minimum of quality of reception to get this one here. I even have some cheap scanner radios that are unable to get it. So it's actually very sensitive in the FM VHF range. It's very good there. Like I said, shortwave is good. Shortwave is really nice. It has single sideband. The separate upper lower sideband button makes it easier to tune in to some of the signals. The fine tuning button helps, really pin down the tone and get the right tone for listening to single sideband signals. It is superb in its tuning capabilities. Keep in mind, this is a DSP-based receiver. So this receiver probably uses the Silicon Integrated's 473435 chip, which is a, AM/FM shortwave radio all-in-one. Of course, it is a great performer, and most radios using that chip are great performers when well designed, but it adds a couple of things that's kind of weird. Tuning around feels a little weird, and even the turning it on and off is a little weird. So it kind of, turns on almost like a computer. So let's go to shortwave. So you see that it takes a small time to actually have the full volume. It kind of fades out the volume. It's kind of weird. And when you turn it on and switch, for example, to a single sideband, you've got this little delay of doing something to go to sideband. So there's a few little things like that. One other thing that some of you will not like, when you tune around, it mutes. It doesn't mute as bad as some other radios that I've seen, but it still mutes. And that's something you gotta know, that it is one of those radios that has a little muting. The other thing that's kind of weird is because it's DSP based, sometimes when the signals fade out, they kind of have that weird, threshold where they just fade out and that's it, and then they come back, kind of like if it's done in steps. It's typical of a lot of DSP based receivers. It's probably the way the automatic gain control has been designed there, the AJC. But overall, it still is a very nice radio to use. Where I find it a little sad is in the department of the audio. If you use the audio with the speaker small, it's a little distorted on AM, and it is a little high-pitched. But, it's still listenable, but it doesn't have a very strong volume. So if you're in your home, for example, it's going to be okay. But if you're outside and you're in a noisy environment, you'll need to have these earbuds because you won't hear much coming out of the speaker if it's a little noisy. One of the cool features also about this radio is its ability to have several bandwidths. And this is very nice because not a lot of the receivers have all of these bandwidths. So when you actually tune the single sideband, you see here you can cycle through 4 kilohertz, 3, 2.2, 1.2, 1, and 0.5, which It's perfect for CW. If you are in AM mode, you will have the cycle through 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1 kilohertz to cycle and try to, of course, avoid adjacent interference. One of the things that is interesting is the bandwidth, because it, of course, kind of uses or cuts a little bit some of the frequencies. The bandwidth can be used to kind of reduce the high pitchedness of the speaker, but still, you know, it's a nice radio, has a lot of little features that are cool, very sensitive. Been enjoying using it, and will continue using it. It's really nice, and like I said, it's so small that it's easy to bring along everywhere. I actually was bringing this radio with me different places this week. I just, you know, dropped it in my coat pocket and would pick it up and listen to signals. And like I said, its sensitivity is pretty good compared to other radios, and we'll compare it to other radios, of course. More videos coming up on that. But it's an overall very nice radio, around $170. That is maybe where I'm a little sad. It's a little more expensive. Then again, it does have the hairband and a couple of features that are not necessarily available on other portables, so could explain a little more on the higher price of the radio. It also comes with accessories that the other radios don't necessarily, like the reel-in antenna. And I have to say that, once again, the earbuds here are of amazing quality in the audio. And you might want to use the radio actually using the earbuds for sure. So if you have any questions, anything you want to know, let me know. I will be happy to talk about it and answer any questions. This has been the review of the C Crane CCSkywaveSSB portable receiver. One last note, it does not have long wave. So if you're in Europe, you're thinking of a small portable radio and want to listen to some of your local long wave stations, it does not cover long wave. In North America, it's not much of a problem. We don't hear much here except non-directional beacons. But if you buy it somewhere else in the world, maybe that could be a game changer for you. Remember that there's no long wave on this thing. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thanks for watching.